Well, I just do whatever I feel on stage, you know. As I always did that.
Are you going to keep making films?
I hope to.
What's up, y'all? It's Pluto. Welcome back to Classic Reactions, where we get into classic hits that I've never heard before. Yes, this is Classic Reactions Interview Edition. Today, we are getting into another Elvis interview. Yes, as you know, not only do we get into music, but we get into every pillar of entertainment on Classic Reactions. So make sure you guys are subscribing, liking, and sharing the videos. And so listen, thus far on Classic Reactions, we've gotten into a few interviews. We did Queen, we did Freddie Mercury. We also did like solo interviews from Brian May, John, Roger, Elvis. And so listen, if you guys have a particular interview that you want to see on Classic Reactions, make sure you let me know below. But I need more interviews, more movies. What do you, talking to you. What do you want to see on Classic Reactions? Okay, let me know below. All right, so anyway, with that being said, today we are getting into an Elvis interview from 1970. He was in Houston, Texas. Come on, Texas. Everything is bigger in Texas, they say.
Nice, so I like it, boy. Compared to Las Vegas.
What made you decide to come to Texas?
Well, you know, to tell you the truth, I started out here in Texas. I think the first shows that I worked was down here, man, around Houston.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought Elvis started out in Tennessee, not Texas.
Remember what
All over
locations
Texas.
you worked here in Texas?
Well, I worked Houston, I worked Corpus Christi. Every little town here, Longview, man, you name it, I've been there, you know. Really, I've been all over Texas.
What do you think of Texas?
I like it. I like it.
Elvis, can you
Really
give
enjoy
us, I understand with all the big engagements like Las Vegas, etc., the reason why you selected the livestock show and rodeo this year?
Well, they asked me to do it, and I was anxious to do some live appearances. You know, it'd been a long time since I've been on stage in front of anybody live. And I was anxious to do some live appearances, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to get in front of the people.
Have you ever seen the inside of the dome before?
Never have. It scares them. It's a big place, man, you know.
Listen, if you live in Texas or if you know anything about the rodeo, they do not play when it comes to the rodeo in Texas. And that's a huge event. You got to be a big artist to be able to even be considered to perform at the rodeo in Houston. So shout out to Elvis.
You've been known in the past as the king of rock and roll. Do you think your style has changed now from the days that you were king, or do you consider that still your style?
Well, I think the overall thing has improved. The overall sound's improved, I mean. But I think it's according to the songs, you know. It's just according to the songs.
Is your stage presentation still the same way it was, or have you improved on that?
Well, I just do whatever I feel on stage, you know. As I always did that.
Are you going to keep making films?
I hope to. Well, I like to make better films than the kind I made before. Well, better than the ones I made before.
I mean, same genre, Western.
Excuse me, I can't take this fresh air, man. I'm used to the garbage can at the International Hotel, man. If I can't smell some garbage, I don't feel at home, man, I'll tell you.
I love it. Elvis is so sarcastic but witty and fun. He is very lighthearted, and I love that about him. Now, you guys, let me know a little about this era of Elvis. He looked really healthy. He looked happy. Was this a good time in Elvis's life and career? I know he had ups and downs, you know, with just life, but he looked great right here.
Do you have any films in the making right now, or any plans?
No, there's nothing in, as far as I know of, is there, Colonel? Anything in the workings?
Like can't commit to myself.
An 8mm Walt Disney special we're doing next year, I think. I don't know.
We're shooting something now, right?
It's nothing as far as I know. No.
When you look at your opportunity to go and try to fill up the Astrodome,
Well, it'll be the type of stuff that I do. It's a mixture of things, you know. It's a little rock and a little country western
Essentially
flavor.
the same show you do at the International Hotel?
Yeah, it's the same type of thing. A lot of different type of songs. So I just hope I can put on a good show,
Whatever
mainly.
happened to the Jordanaires?
I can't get them out of Nashville, man. They got stuck in Nashville, and you know, they make so much money, and they do so well in Nashville. You can't get them out of there. You know?
So listen, let me know below. Was the Jordan Mayers? I think I said that right. Not sure. Either way, was that the group that the black guy was in with Elvis? Let me know.
Do you have any thoughts about the rising interest in country music?
I think it's fantastic. You see, country music was always a part of the influence on my type of music anyway. It's a combination of country music and gospel and rhythm and blues all combined is what it really was. As a child, I was influenced by all of that.
Do you consider yourself basically a country music singer then?
I would hate to say strictly country because of the fact that I liked all different types of music when I was a child. You know, of course, the Grand Ole Opry was the first thing I ever heard, probably. But I liked blues and I liked the gospel music, gospel quartets and all that.
Did you ever pull out any of those old records from the Sun label and listen to them at all?
They sound funny, boy. They got a lot of echo on them, man, I'll tell you. But that's what I mean. I think the overall sound has improved today, you know.
In other words, you are available to the public only in films
Yeah.
for a long period of time.
Well, I think the most important thing is the inspiration that I got from a live audience. I was missing that. I didn't.
Was it rough at the International? Was it a little bit of a strain on you after not being out front of them?
It was always tough, but I enjoyed it. I enjoy it. Like I know I'm going to enjoy it here because it's live audience and it makes a world of difference.
Let me ask you one thing. What's your father up to?
He's around here somewhere. Ask him. I don't know. Daddy, what are you up to?
Skip the fun, will you?
Shout out to Bernie.
Miss Presley?
Elvis,
I want
there's
you to meet
evidence of start.
Mr. Elvis's father, Mr. Vernon Presley.
Could you come right in and sit down?
Vernon, don't sign nothing unless
I've really noticed that the media and the fans really had a love for Vernon like no other. They respected Vernon. In interviews, they wanted to always speak to Vernon. So it's safe to say that Vernon was a huge part of Elvis's career and life.
I can't write. I never said nothing.
It's just fresh air, man.
Elvis, there's quite an evidence of sartorial splendor. Does this indicate that the
What? What?
the attire is not one that we're familiar with seeing? you on?
It was taken from a karate suit, just a regular karate type outfit. Are they coming to get me? Is that it?
I mean, does this indicate that with your type of dress and everything now that you're changing a little bit of style, perhaps in deference to what you did a few years ago?
I don't know. I think that you'd have to see the show. You know, it's difficult to tell. I don't feel any different. You know. I don't think the dress has that much to do with it. I got the idea from a karate suit because I studied karate for a long time, and I had to make up a couple of suits like it.
What do you do for relaxation? You said you studied
Karate.
Now, that's a fun fact. Elvis studied karate? What? That man was definitely dynamic. He was not a monolith at all. He was so multifaceted. Wow.
If you can relax doing this, I don't know. No, I read a lot and go horseback riding and stuff like that.
Do you still live principally in
Memphis. About half the time. Yeah, half the time. Half the time in L.A.
In the show you have planned for the Dome, do you plan any of the old songs, some of the first ones?
I'd like to, you know.
Any special ones?
Tried a couple of them, just to see if they work.
We're really glad to have you down here.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you, Ken. Elvis, let me pin this on. This is your official badge. And we got another one. Didn't want to put your name on. Not that people didn't know who you were, but we were afraid they'd be trying to take it off for a souvenir. We want to pin that on you. Mr. President, it's a real pleasure to have you down here with your son, sir.
Thank you.
We think we're going to set all kinds of records down here.
I hope so. I hope I can give them a good show. That's the most
I
important
guarantee
thing.
you will.
Is,
No question about that. You sure will.
If I can give them a good show, then I feel like I've done something.
You
What's
will.
the
We're not worried
biggest
about
live
that.
crowd you've ever performed for?
If I'm not mistaken, it was in Vancouver, Canada, wasn't it, Colonel?
Cotton Bowl.
In the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. It was about, I don't know, 25,000, I guess, something like that.
Is Mr. Gracie
I
here?
think.
They're great.
Very great.
That's one of the men that started our livestock show. One of the
Gentlemen,
greatest.
this is Mr. Chris Caramanis, who was kind
sure,
enough
nice
to
to
bring
see you.
us down here
This is
to
Mr.
play.
Presley's son, Bear Gracie.
I think he deserves a little recognition.
Well, I think so, if it's the right type of song. I think so, if it's the right type of material.
You made a couple of
But
songs.
yes, I have. I did, like,
Ghetto.
in the ghetto, and, I don't know. I wouldn't like to do all that type stuff, you know. Well, in other words, I would like for everything to be a message, because I think that there's still entertainment to be, you know, considered.
Wow, that was Elvis, interviewed 1970, Houston, Texas, for the rodeo. Listen, you guys, let me know your thoughts below on this interview. I really love watching interviews because it just humanizes the actual artist. Like we really get to discover those small little gems about who they were as a human outside of the music, outside of their career. Now, I must say, there has been a lot of mention of this guy named Colonel, and I don't know how I feel about Colonel. Y'all, let me know below. It does seem like Elvis respected Colonel because he always looked to Colonel, asked Colonel questions about what's this or what's that. And it honestly seemed like Elvis trusted Colonel with his career, but I don't know if that worked out well for him. I've heard a lot of stories about Colonel and the things that he got into, but we'll save that for another day. Y'all put your thoughts below on Colonel. But nevertheless, I enjoyed the interview. It was amazing. Good to know that Elvis had the opportunity to perform at an event as big as the rodeo. And so just a couple of things that I took away and that I learned. I didn't know that Elvis studied karate. He lived between LA and Tennessee, which I knew he lived in Tennessee, but I never knew that he actually lived in LA. So that was pretty cool. And so honestly, again, that's why I personally love watching these interviews, because you really get to take away as a fan these small but important details of the person behind the music. So you guys, let me know below, what were some of your favorite gems from this interview? Did you enjoy it? And what interview should we check out next?